Hey everyone, I'm Nima and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm sure you have heard about soy sauce before, or you might have actually used it, but you're not exactly sure what it is, how it's made, where it comes from, what is the best way to use it, what is the best way to keep and store it, and a lot more. So if you want to get the answer to all those questions, you're in the right place and keep watching this video. What is soy sauce? So it's basically a dark brown liquid which originated in China about 2000 years ago. And soy sauce is a very important component in Chinese and Japanese cuisine, and you would rarely find a Chinese food which does not have any soy sauce in it. Soy sauce is basically salty, it's very salty, very umami, and if you actually taste soy sauce, like if you actually pay attention to the taste of soy sauce, you will see that it's a little bit sweet and bitter. So it's salty, umami, a little sweet and a little bitter. This means that it has a very nice balance, which means it's an excellent condiment. And that's why if you go to Asian restaurants, you see that small bowls filled with soy sauce next to their main courses. That's why it's an excellent condiment. It has a very nice balance of salty, umami, sweet and bitter. How to use soy sauce? Well, you can use soy sauce in your marinades, but watch your salt content. Like if you have already added salt to your marinade and you add soy sauce, the outcome will be over salty. Just watch your salt content and you can use soy sauce in your marinades. You can also use it in soups and stews, which gives a very nice depth of flavor, depth of umami flavor. But this time you gotta watch the color. Like if you're making a white soup and then you add soy sauce to it, it will make it darker, which will ruin your soup, And one thing that I really like about the soy sauce is that heat does not affect it. What do I mean by that? So let's say you're making a soup and you add a little bit of soy sauce at the beginning of cooking process. If you taste the soup at the end of cooking process, you can still taste the soy sauce in it. So heat does not affect it. If you think you've learned something watching this video so far, please hit that like button down below so YouTube will show this video to more people who are interested about soy sauce. Thank you. How is soy sauce made? Well, I have to say that soy sauce has been made in a lot of different ways with different methods, different ingredients in different regions and a lot more. But authentic soy sauce usually follow the same steps, And authentic soy sauce is usually made with water, salt, yeast, soybeans and wheat. At first, they would basically rinse the soybeans and make sure they're clean, and then they would boil them for about 4 hours to soften them up. And when the soybeans are softened, it basically speeds up the fermentation process. The fermentation process happens quickly. And then they would add the yeast to the wheat and then they would let it sit for 2 days. After 2 days, the yeast is fully activated. And then they would add all the ingredients in a wooden barrel. What are the other ingredients? Water, salt, wheat and yeast together, and the cooked soybeans. They would add all that in a wooden barrel, and then for the next 6 weeks, every day they have to open the barrel, they have to stir it, make sure the yeast is alive, make sure everything is good, and then close the barrel again. For the next 6 weeks, they gotta do this every day. And then after 6 weeks, it's good, everything is good, the yeast is activated, they would close the barrel and then let it sit for about a year, for about 10 to 12 months. And then after that, the soy sauce is ready. They would basically press the mixture so all the soy sauce is out, they would strain it, and then they would pasteurize it, and then it's ready for sale, But nowadays, soy sauce is not made like the traditional way. Nowadays, everything is industrial and everything happens quickly, you know what I mean? So they would basically add all the ingredients in a container: soybeans, water, yeast, salt and wheat. And then they also add one more ingredient, which is acid hydrolyzed vegetable protein. What does this ingredient do? It basically breaks down the soybeans and then the process happens way faster. But does it taste the same? No, of course not. The traditional way has a more complex flavor and color, but the modern way, the industrial way, they often add some food coloring to it as well, because in 3 to 5 days, it won't have that rich dark brown color, you know what I mean? So they often add food coloring to it as well. I'm sure a lot of people have this question about, is soy sauce bad for you or not? Well, the only concern that you should have about soy sauce is the salt content or the sodium content, And the thing about the soy sauce is that it has more salt than you can taste. So which means, like, let's say you're making something and then you add a little bit of salt and then you taste it again, it's good, right? But you add a little bit of soy sauce, you taste it, it's good, but you've added actually a lot more salt. So how does that happen? Well, soy sauce is basically a fermented liquid, right? And it has other flavors in it as well. It has soybeans, it has wheat, and these two basically combine together, and you don't really taste all the salt which is in soy sauce. So soy sauce has a lot more salt in it, and for people who have high blood pressure, you basically like have to minimize the usage of soy sauce, you know. How to keep and store soy sauce? Well, you basically have to store it in an like airtight container, because the thing with soy sauce is that it doesn't spoil, but it oxidizes. So it has to be in an airtight container all the time, in a dark, cool place. You can keep it in the fridge or you can keep it in the cabinet, doesn't really matter. But as long as it's in an airtight container, you should be good. You can keep it for like 2 or 3 years, you know. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something watching this video. If you think you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like this video. Thank you, and until the next video, I will see you all later. Thank you.